Hey everybody, this is John from MTG Nexus doing a live stream here with a donation deck list from Foss. This is an updated version of the black-white version that he has play. The Mastermind's acquisition black-white prison deck. He had a small blue splash for Sphinx's Revelation, try to get some card advantage, a couple other small adjustments to the list. No Journey to Nowhere, adjusted the mana base to get some more blue sources in here to be able to cast Revelation. And beyond that, the list is relatively same. A couple changes in the sideboard. Shaved a couple rest in pieces for another sweeper. He wants to try out Oketra's Last Mercy. And the final one was another copy of Nevermore to help block out our opponent in specific cases where they're relying on one or two cards to kind of bust open the prison lock once it's established. Those of you that are familiar with this deck, it's trying to establish the Phyrexian Unlife Solemnity lock that a lot of decks have problems getting out of. Very few main deck answers to that particular lock in the main deck. Beyond that, you're using things like Ghostly Prison and Quarantine or Sphere of Safety to make it hard for your opponent to attack you. Leyline of Sanctity, so burn spells and discard spells can't touch your hand. And then various other things to disrupt creatures, things like Periphery Nodes, Rune Halo, etc. to lock down specific threats. So, playing it in a Modern League here. So, don't know that we'll be able to get all the way through a league before dinner time, but we are going to get as many matches in as possible. We will have a new Burn League coming out here shortly. Probably once I'm done streaming this, I'll finish finishing touches on the upload. We've got Esper month going on. We have a new affiliate link for Amazon, so if you want to help support the channel, there's a link down below. Go to that link. Anything you buy on Amazon for, I believe it's up to 24 hours, will help support the channel. And beyond that, special thanks to Foz for donating this deck played. If you want to see your deck played for as little as $10, you can see your deck played in any league, in any format, though I do tend to stick to Modern and Standard if at all possible, because those are my specialties. I think this is a keep. We have half the Solemnity lock, we have a Leyline of Sanctity if that's relevant in the matchup, and then Rune Halos, so I think this is a pretty easy keep. Play out the Marsh Flats so we can grab a Hallowed Fountain. Alright, so Hardened Scales it is. Instantly regretting cutting that Stony Silence from our sideboard. Actually, do I name here? Guess we'll just name Ravager. We have Ink Moth covered with Solemnity, and that's going to be quite brutal on them, actually. Yeah, Walking Ballista is not terribly relevant here. Solemnity helps keep basically their deck can't function. outside of a bunch of amateuristic beatdown plans now. Players can't gain life, counters can't be put on artifacts, creatures, enchantments, or lands. So basically, if their Ink Moth is blanked, their another copy of Solemnity, not terribly relevant here. Go ahead and get down Walking Ballista. This card, we either need a copy of Phyrexian Unlife or but post-board, opponent will have things like Nature's Claim and such, so this is not a guaranteed lock in the post-board games. Sure. Grab a basic whatever here. Actually, I should have grabbed a blue source, huh? Acquisition. Acquisition will allow us to win the game. This allows us to go grab a copy of Phyrexian Unlife. Unlife next turn will lock out the game. In prison deck be prison deck. Opponent understands, that's game over. So probably can afford to move Auramancy into the main deck, at least a copy of it. Suppression Field is reasonable in this matchup. Wrath effects are okay. Problem is, like, what cards do we cut in the matchup? Like, Sanctity is relevant from in point of dealing with Walking Ballista. Otherwise, we can get gunned down by Ballista. So maybe we're not supposed to cut those. I feel like we can afford to cut the Torment to the sideboard. Maybe the Quarantine Field. Shave one Revelation. Try it like this. Yep. It's actually like the last card on the planet we want to actually see. Second ley line, I mean, it's okay-ish, but it doesn't really do a ton. Greater Oromancy. Next turn we'll play Solemnity. Hopefully they'll spend another turn developing. They're really gonna go all in. Alright, sure. So we're dead? Fair enough. Turn 3 kills, those are a thing. When you have the nut draw, you have the nut draw. God, I'm all getting that one lander is just too... Alright, so... This hand's very slow. What's up, War Dog? How you doing? Alright, that's not a terrible one, I guess. Sample wines with an account. How's the new job working out, man? Is it better than the old job, at least? Keep us from getting gunned down by Walking Ballista. Should have played that land untapped, unfortunately, but such is life. Does Nykthos help at all? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess that kind of helps. Go grab a second copy of Runed Halo. Play it on Hangerback Walker. Not sure what the point of that was, unless they have another Nature's Claim. They only have one card we don't know about. So I guess in the end that only bought us one turn, so we need to hit something good this next turn. So how do we do this correctly? I think we're just dead. Is there anything we can hit for... So I can generate 7 mana. Rev for 1 and hope to hit like another Ghostly Prison? That doesn't do it. Well, I guess we hope to hit Phyrexian on life here. I mean, this is clearly a long shot, but... Alright. Well, that was a little rough. Yep. Seems about right. Oh, man. Well, we locked them out game 1 with a Solemnity, and then game 2 they turned 3'd us, and then game 3 there was just kind of entertaining. Well, it would only have bought us 1 turn anyway because of, they would have been able to attack us below 0, or if they had a Nature's Claim in hand, we were dead anyway. So, stupid fire alarms. I hope everybody's alright. Mulligan? Keep, I guess? I think we want a third land here. Guess we could have played a fetch land in case we decide we don't want a third land for some reason. This deck is kind of mana hungry though, so at least in terms of hitting our second and third, fourth land drops. Yeah, this was a list, I believe. Oh, flip. Well, we're in some trouble now because blue-white control doesn't really care about what we're doing. So, probably Snapcaster Mage or Jace the Mind Sculptor. Just we'll name Colonnade for now. If they want to do that to opponent now knows we have a Mastermind's acquisition in hand. It's possible they don't even have a counterspell, but I don't think most of the straight blue-white lists are playing Geist of St. Traft, at least not in the main deck. This is a miserable matchup. This is the only one we played last time out. It was just terrible. Like, they legit don't care what we do at all. Yeah, there's a Snapcaster Mage we probably should have named. My cards are the same, man. I guess. Either way, it's not going to matter. They're just going to counter this one, which is fine. Yep. No, I don't live in a fire hall. I live about a block from the fire station. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Going to try to bait them with Oblivion Ring. See, I can't see that possibly working. How many flippin' peaks do you have? Jeez. Card's annoying. There, chew on that. Go away. Stop looking at my hand. Oh, it's instant speed. That's the obnoxious part. And it does cost them mana, so. So if this gets countered, I think we can go ahead and pack it up, pack it in, right? Yep. Moving on. Because about the only prayer we had was, Leyline of Sanctities don't really do a whole lot in this style of matchup. The only prayer we truly had was to land an unopposed Mastermind's Inquisition into a Never-Ending Torment. Because I don't know that they can beat Never-Ending Torment every turn if it resolved. So I'm not sure how Epic works with counter spells. Never really had the chance to find out. I presume if the initial one gets countered, the Epic doesn't continue happening, but I really don't know for sure. So could board out Periphery Nodes. Bring in the Oromancies. Suppression Field's not terrible in the matchup. None of the rest of our cards really do anything. Some argument for Rest in Peace, but I think that's a little much. Sphere of Safety can probably go out. Yeah, but we're so far behind in this matchup that, like, we have to stretch to win. Like, we're trying to cast a 6-mana sorcery to win the game against the all counterspells deck. Like, we're both trying to do the control thing, they just kind of do it better. Sure. This one's gonna take a little bit longer because they're gonna have to read Never-Ending Torment. Just saying. Unfortunately, we missed the land drop, so fortunately this match was over, pretty much. And no, I don't have Sour Grapes. This is just legit. Like, this deck's probably worst nightmare outside of Tron. Like, this is one of those decks that if it draws its correct hate pieces in matchups, I want to play 6 peaks in one match. And I draw a Sphinx's Rev. They're gonna get their 6 peaks in. Ugh. The ye old, my only counterspell is Cryptic Command. Sphinx's Rev equals not a land. I agree. It is not, in fact, a land. They're actually going to counter a... Sure. Snap beats 10 turn clock. Wow. It's possible we should have left some number of ley lines in because of Jace as well. Like, Jace's ultimate's definitely a thing. But I feel like... Narset. Sure? Question mark? I mean, we could O-ring this, but, like, it's whatever right now. Like, here comes Turfluffles. Try to Oblivion Ring there. Teferi. I still think it's a very sad, pathetic experience that blue-white control is running Spell Pierce. Like, has the format gotten that warped that the blue-white control deck has to run Spell Pierce? Alright, sure. Like, the funniest card to draw would be the other copy of Greater Oromancy. That would be, like, the most... I should have gotten the basic island, I suppose. Revelation's not terribly relevant as long as they have this Narset in play anyway. So... put a card on top, sure. No, blue-white. I don't think blue-white can really leverage it enough. What are they ramping for? Like, we're pretty much dead next turn, so. Put a card on bottom. Wonder what they were scared of. Yep. That was a sad start to this league so far, but let's get rolling here with match number 3. So a friendly reminder, if you want to see your deck played on the channel, we do have a couple different ways to donate. We have a donation link on our main YouTube page. It's in the banner in the upper or the lower right-hand corner. $10 lets you get a league played or have one of the events on Magic Arena played if it's a standard deck and you wish to see it played on there. Also, when the new website is up and running, you'll be able to donate $10 with a message on there to let me know what deck you want to play. So there's a lot of stuff I've been working on behind the scenes. We'll have a small website going up here today, I think. There's going to be a new Burn League release probably after we're done streaming. I'll probably have to finish this league off stream because I think this is probably going to be the last match I can play because of dinner time, etc. Last time out, this deck did pretty well as the black-white version. It went 3-2, so we've run into Hardened Scales was probably a reasonable matchup, but they do have, a billion copies of Nature's Claim on their sideboard, so they're pretty well prepared for the sideboard games. Ooh. I almost hope this is Infect. Gotta bottom that for right now. Right now we're looking for lands and interaction. Worry about winning the game later. Oh, devoted combo. Whale shoot. Am I going to get killed on turn 3 again? Guess we'll find out. I do a little bit, Ken. I watch more of sideboard MTG than I do strictly better MTG, but I do from time to time. Like, I could potentially have played Rune Halo to avoid dying to Walking Ballista this turn, but I think that only buys us time because if they have the ability... Yeah, that's pretty nice to see budget decks sometimes. So most we have access to is 4 mana. They probably have either a Court of Calling or a Collected Company here, which is whatever. Okay, or they're just digging for Vizier. Conservative, how so? Okay. You can float all the mana in the world you want. Until you show me a payoff, I'm not doing anything. What kind of channels? I try to be pretty neutral in my, like, political whatever stuff. Like, to me, I'm here to be an entertainer, or I'm here to be a somebody to build the knowledge and help build the community. I don't really think people are people. Yeah, I've kind of soured on Tolarian. Does Goldfish really do that much? Like I know Jeff and Tolarian are a little bit polarizing in some regards. I didn't know that Goldfish really was. I guess if he is, I'm not really don't really pay all that much attention to it. Leyline, it stops the ballista combo, but in the end, that really doesn't stop them. Gotcha. Yeah, even when like I'm gonna get more active on Twitter, I'm gonna stay away from the politic nonsense. It just isn't. It's just not worth it. Like, to me, your professional life and your personal beliefs shouldn't necessarily cross too much. I think the only place your professional and your political personal beliefs should cross is if you're like trying to work with something that's completely against, like, say you're a conservative and some like extremely liberal something wants to do something with you, like, you know, advertise on your channel. Like, if people ask me questions about religion, I'll answer honestly, but I'm not going to force my beliefs on other people. That's just not how I roll. So, Never-Ending Torment can go in the sideboard. Nevermore is an interesting one, but I think that's just too cute. Yeah, and even to a certain degree, like, I mean, sure, I guess. Like, what am I even looking for in this matchup? Like, even to a certain degree, this is my, like, secondary job slash hobby. So, like, this is something I would like to turn into a career long term. But yeah, I agree there. And that's one of the things that annoys me is when commentators go out of their way to there was a I don't want to get too far into it, but there was a post that really kind of got my blood boiling. Helen Bourgeau does art for MTG, and one of the I believe she might even be lesbian, which to me that's whatever, your beliefs are your beliefs. But she does art for WotC as part of their, whatever. And she liked a couple of tweets from Trump or something, and there was at least one or two members of the LBGT community that were in uproar because WotC was still using her art. I'm like, seriously, that's the hill you're gonna die on. Like, well, the problem with being a pro player, number one, requires money. Okay, they have the combo. Do you have the payoff? Sometimes I really wish there was you have a deputy of detention. Well, it's not even that. It's people want to force their viewpoints on other people, and it's just like, people are the first one to cry when someone, tries to take their rights away for stuff, but then they're the same people calling for boycotts of X person because that company doesn't line up with their views. Like, okay, sure. It's a pretty nice combo. Alright, guess we got time for one more match. What's the problem with YouTube, Kenneth? Well, Magic content in general has gotten Steven Crowder thing. I probably will after once the stream's over. The one thing with Magic is Magic content has gotten there's a bigger audience for it, but there's also a lot of bigger names. So it's really hard to break into the content thing for Magic. You really have to get into big games when they're kind of on the ground floor. And Magic, when Arena took off, really brought a lot of big names into content distribution. So, like my niche being Burn, but there's already, there's already Day 2 Dryden who does his thing, So, humans, alright, sure. Yeah, it pulled a lot of people into Magic, but it also pulled a lot of people away from the modern format. So, like, my niche being modern Burn, for the most part, I'm catering to a small segment of the audience. Because you have your casual players, you have your actual tournament players, or arena players that play a standard. Then you have your Eternal formats like Modern and Legacy. Now, Modern has a bigger chunk in it than Legacy does, but you're still talking, say, Modern, maybe, let's say, of your player base, maybe, let's say out of your player base, maybe 20% play Modern, even casually. And of that 20%, maybe, so mono white humans. So of that 20%, maybe 10% look for burn content. Well, I appreciate that, Ken. What's your deck? Burn or something? One of the other decks we play on the channel. Gotcha. But that's just, I'm just saying, like, even if people play burn, like, there's a certain limit of the audience that's going to look for burn content. Like, look at somebody like Nikachu. Now, Nikachu has like 9,000 subs on Merfolk. Now, Merfolk's not a widely played deck, but he does a lot of like little kooky stuff and such, and he can be very entertaining. Nice. That's far better than my But that's why I mix up the content in addition to burn, is it's just like, okay, play out Leyline. If we had a blue source, would be doing much better here, but you know. But that's what I'm saying is YouTube. See, the two big platforms, Twitch rewards you for having a. That agreed. Twitch rewards people that have a bigger following already because. Talk about awkward mana here. Like, Twitch rewards bigger name recognition already and having a following. YouTube rewards like sticking to one niche over time in addition to name recognition. So, like, both of the big platforms, you kind of have to pick your lane and go in it to grow your audience. Like, there are people that do, there's 2 or 3 people that do, you know, budget fun decks. Stuff like MTG Goldfish, stuff like Strictly Better MTG, stuff like Marin MTG. Kind of get their audiences by doing the kooky stuff. People like Grimflare, people like Nikachu, people like myself, people like, I can't remember his name, and also people like Caleb. Sure, they make their name largely on the basis of one deck they play. You know, other people like Jeff Hooglin, etc., develop their name through other means, like the Star City tournaments and such. Since I'm kind of limited in... What are you even going to Meddling Mage here? Elishnorn? Oh. This is the one nice thing about playing a rogue deck, man, is people have no idea what's going on game 1. Yeah, I might have Elishnorn. I mean, hey, it's not a terrible name with as much mana as I got. And it's like the one card that would like completely lock them out from winning the game. So mean, it makes sense. I'm not gonna at the name, but it was kind of hilarious. So this is just a really bad draw from normal humans. Okay. And I guess they're just running Dauntless Bodyguard? Sure. Why don't you... I was going to say, why don't you get in with whatchamacallit there? Alright, so do this, get a bunch of mana, play that. We'll go ahead and grab the lock piece here. End this game, cast Solemnity. Unless they have Deputy of Detention in their main deck, the game is now over. Okay. Oh, okay, Solemnity would keep their creatures from getting counters. Alright, good play, good play. Now we sit here and go... Dirt to dirt! Since we... Actually, am I supposed to do that this turn? I guess we go grab, Heliod this turn. Just because... I guess if they have a Reflector Mage, that's kind of dumb, but... Alright. Oh, it's fine, Ken. Alright, so... Wrath of God... Supreme Verdict... Copy of Nevermore's... Oromancies, maybe... Suppression Field can mess with their vials. Get these ley lines out of our deck. Get the Torment out of our deck. Periphery Nodes. Copy of Revelation. This will definitely be our last game either way. I'll finish the league up off camera, last match, but getting too close to dinner time, so. I mean, this hand's fine. We got Ghostly Prisons out the... So. Yep. human. Do they even name here? It's a little bit savage. So we're losing the journey to nowheres is going to hurt a little bit. Not going to do a whole lot on this board. In fact, there's actually an outside shot we could die this turn, so maybe we're supposed to play Phyrexian on life. So they go Lieutenant into Image or Lieutenant, or Image into Image, we could be dead on this board. Or Mass Rider's lethal? Yeah, maybe it was correct to play Phyrexian on life here. Three, four, five, six, seven. Yeah, that's exactly lethal. So 3, 6, 8. Took them a really long time to figure that out. Let's get rolling here on game number 3. This hand's okay. Alright. Prison down. Pass turn. Alright, well, sadly to cut this off midstream, but it's dinner time, so I will try to finish this up off stream. I want to thank Kenneth and Wardog for hanging out today. As always, if you want to see your deck played, don't forget you can donate to the channel $10 to see your deck played. And just want to thank everybody for hanging out. This has been John for MTG Nexus. Hope everybody has a great day.